What a wonderful evening to stumble into some Pointer Sisters. Gentlemen. Pwah, pwah, pwah.
Blap, blap.
Blap, blap.
Blap, blap.
Splatterdat. Rat trap.
Hopefully.
Yes. Look out. Crackheads got hands. Welcome back to another uproarious and glorious edition of Disinformed After Dark, where we break every rule in the book and rewrite the book. I am Shane.
I'm John.
And I'm Michael.
I'm trying to, just tread some new ground. I'm working on some new material. Working on my
yeah,
type 5, okay?
Okay. First draft, right? First draft?
First Raff?
First draft?
I prefer
Riff raff.
first Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo.
I'm Michelangelo. Yeah,
Dude.
Nickelodeon.
Whatever, yeah.
Bro.
Nickelodeon? Tomato,
Oof.
potato.
So in case you are uninitiated, what we usually do here is this is a video companion podcast to our weekly podcast, the Disinformed podcast, which you can find in the link tree below. And you know what else you should do below? Mr. Michael's going to tell you.
You should take that like button and smash it.
That's the best one you've ever done.
Yeah. Gotta shake things up every once in a while.
You should also
like
subscribe.
that like button.
Michael Smash!
Yeah, also hit that button, that subscribe button, and ring that bell.
This is why we don't let him extemporaneously speak.
Michael Bear!
I gotta think about things. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now.
Got bulk smash here.
Sulk Smash. Have you ever seen that movie? Sulk? The
No,
Incredible
have
Sulk?
you?
No, but I know that it's like it's an incredibly bad parody of the Incredible Hulk.
Is it like Jonas Salk, who turns into the Hulk later on?
That's a reference I don't understand.
All right. Anywho,
Surprise!
since we're here, so what we usually do is, as we are waiting for our files to, compress here, as we finished recording our weekly episode, we will do a fun little companion video cast here where we will discuss one of the glorious Chuck Klosterman hypotheticals. You can find this anywhere that disreputable things are sold. And this week's installment is apropos because as we went off air from recording, I was discussing the fact that there is a rumor Stevie Wonder is actually not blind. And one of the individuals who tries to lend credence to this is Shaquille O'Neal, who claimed that at one point Stevie Wonder approached him in an elevator and, just without Shaq announcing himself at all, Stevie Wonder said, "Hey, Shaq, what's up?" And so this is how this story has been perpetuated through the ages.
Yeah.
And appropriately enough, what John managed to manifest out of a random draw is today's installment, Shaquille in the shower.
Before we do that, I have one thing that I want to show because I made sure to bring it this time. Okay.
You had the whole world, Chief. You had to
I
wait until
know.
I was like primed.
I know. I had to blue ball the audience, the listeners, you, everyone.
So
it's what I do.
Captain Marblemouth Baby Hands over here.
God Emperor Baby Hands.
No, you're Marblemouth Baby Hands.
That's
it's the
fair.
same family, just different signet.
Yes. Wait a minute. So speaking of the previous episodes that we had recorded, not After Dark, but the actual episodes, I wanted to show my actual membership with the Satanic Temple. It's not going to focus
neat?
Because my
No, it's good,
webcam
man.
is garbage, but I also wanted to show
Fits the person.
oh God, I can't do this with mirrors, but
There
that is
you
also
go.
my membership. Yes.
And
So-
now everyone
Proud of
knows
you, bud.
your full name and your mailing address, and hopefully you've got your debit card handy. You want to hold that up so everyone can sample it, or?
Oh no! I have the identity
Hey,
of
Michael,
my
what's
trash
a-
can, but
Hey, what's a 4-digit code for your security on the back of your card? What's that number? What's
so
that look like?
actually, because I'm
Nobody
pretentious,
So
my debit card is
Son of a
8
bitch.
digits. 8-digit pin.
I was going to say, yeah, your credit
Congratulations.
card is 8 digits because you can't actually get any money from anybody.
It's written on an index card. I don't understand why it doesn't work, but They said
I
it
keep
works just
slapping
as
it in
fine
the
as the one
face.
I'm trading for.
I keep
So,
slapping CVS employees in the face with it, and they won't accept it.
I don't understand, man. It's accepted as currency elsewhere, so whatever.
Listen, I have this card that says I am exempt from using actual credit cards. I have a pre-existing condition that makes me unable to use credit cards. So you have to accept this paper card.
You know, I choose not to use currency because I refuse to live in fear.
There you go.
Yeah, Michael.
Preach.
So, Shaquille in the shower. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Yes.
Hardly ever.
You come home from an afternoon of shopping, expecting your residence to be empty. However, upon entering your front door, you immediately sense that something is strange. The entire place smells like marijuana and roses. There is a briefcase sitting in the middle of your living room floor filled with diamonds and Christmas cookies. You can hear the shower running, and when you open the door to the bathroom, you realize that the man using the shower is basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal, the big Aristotle himself.
I join him. Anyway, continue.
All right, so you need to roll a 15 or higher to join the shower.
I need to roll a 21 or higher. Crits don't succeed.
Well, if the crit don't fit, you must have quit.
Ooh. Anyway, continue, Shane, please.
Don't you ever talk to a blood like that, sir. A naked Shaq peers at you from behind the shower curtain and smiles enthusiastically, but says nothing. He then returns to washing himself. When you ask O'Neal what he's doing in your home, he simply says, "I don't remember." Do you call the police?
Fudge, no.
No, not at all.
I almost broke the little rule that we have on this video podcast because
Respect. You caught yourself.
and cut off the chance to continue what will end up being a legendary story in of itself. Are you out of your mind?
Right.
But also in my canon, how I see it in my head is that smile that's described in the prompt is the smile from the now infamous GIF that he's like kind of like dancing a little bit. It's like, you know? And then going back to like watching what I imagine is just a massive, massive penis.
Well, there's the demonetization for this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Genitalia, please.
You can say penis.
You just can't be one, apparently.
You can't say cock, but you can say penis.
I quit. I'm tired of trying to rule you unruly bass fishermen.
Oh,
Fudge
boy.
tards. Okay. That's also terribly inappropriate. So let's just get this all out of the way. Gentlemen, John, tell me why you have elected not to phone the police to remove a nude Shaquille O'Neal from your apartment.
Outside of just the clout and just the absurdity of it all, there's so many questions to be answered. And he says he doesn't remember, but I feel like you really need to take him back to that suit or the briefcase.
That's why there's Christmas cookies in there.
Yeah, like
True.
Why? And also, like, is he the one that smoked the marijuana, or is he the one that smells like roses since he's in the shower? Is there a secondary person in this scenario that we don't know about? That if I just instinctively call the cops, like that person can just escape? Like they're gonna see the flashing lights and go? Like, what if it's someone else? What if it's, I don't know, what if it's Stevie Wonder? You know, what if he's in there too?
The mastermind behind it all.
He usually is.
I found it's very superstitious.
Ooh.
Oh, the writing's on the wall, Shane.
Indeed. All right. Well, that sounds like a reasonable enough response from you, Mr. Michael.
Considering that I already declared I was joining him,
I mean that's just something that we would expect to happen regardless of who is in the shower.
Shaq's in the shower sounds like a good idea to me.
I was gonna say that's all it takes. that's all it takes to get you to bathe, then
No, he's very enthusiastic about hygiene, John. We've established this about Michael for like the entirety of
When?
this podcast's run.
I'm not clean shaven. I can't imagine why people would assume that
Hey,
I'm any.
Your dyslexia has proven to us that cleanliness is next to dogliness. So,
Oh, ha, 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 ha. So I would join. He probably might not notice. Start scrubbing his back. He'd be like, "Oh, that's nice." He'd turn around. He'd see me. He'd kind of be a little freaked out because he wouldn't know what he was doing here in the first place. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up? This is my shower. Welcome, Mikasa Sukasa." So he seems like he honestly, based off of the way that I've seen him in movies, you know, like Shazam or Kazam.
I really hope that was intentional. I know it wasn't,
me
but
too.
I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt that it was.
keep
It
dreaming.
was 70%. Or I'm sorry.
Don't start doing percentages again, Michael. We can't take
It
the
was
time.
mostly on purpose. Yes.
Oh, really?
I did it thinking that was right, and then I was like, okay, just in case it wasn't, I'm just gonna maintain the facade.
Well,
I look like I'm
Right.
stoned. I'm not stoned. I'm dead tired. Kill
it's
me.
well, Shaq left all of that potent floatable in the air. So,
Well,
as someone,
Shane, what about you?
as someone who actually has an intimate knowledge of Shaquille O'Neal, not only anatomically but his exploits on the basketball court, because I have watched the man play since I was just a whipper. I am very impressed by him as a person. I know that the man has got personality for days. He's got the sort of cherubic smile that John was referring to earlier, and I would grill that man for hours. Not in the Cannibal of Rotterdam sort of way, but I mean, I would ask him every conceivable question imaginable about his, life in basketball, the decisions he made. We would actually sit down and watch the, well-acclaimed film directed by the director of The Exorcist, William Friedkin, Blue Chips, which is marvelous and also stars his future NBA partner, Anthony Hardaway, a former Phoenix Sun, for those of you who actually follow the sports balls. So, marvelous film. Nick Nolte stars. It's very entertaining.
Oh.
Bob Cousy, Celtic legend, is actually in there as an assistant coach also. It's a wash in stardom, and so I would recommend you watch it. But yeah, he and I would sit down. I'm sure we could do a quick screening. We can enjoy some of the Christmas cookies and just snuggle up on the couch
Maybe
and have a marvelous
that's why it's
time.
all there.
Yep.
That's why it's all there.
I'd be all about it.
Since we've all answered, now we can kind of go off the beaten path a little bit for a second.
Oh no. No,
it's
Popo.
on.
I would not copulate with him. I'm sorry, John.
It's on Netflix. Have you watched Uncut Gems yet, Shane?
Man, it's odd that you ask me that because just this week, so I attempted to watch it. And the important caveat to this is I attempted to watch it with Melissa in the room. So by the time we got to the scene of the steak, that was a no-go. But furthermore, I just couldn't get into it. I found it more annoying than anything. I got to the scene where he was being bludgeoned in the car as they're leaving his daughter's play. And I was more annoyed, and I don't dislike Adam Sandler. I find him amusing. I'm also one of the world's biggest Celtics fans. So that there's Kevin Garnett featured in all of his glory in the film.
That's why I thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I would love it. I just couldn't engage. And then I attempted to watch it again when I had a little downtime, and I had it running in the background while I was doing other things. Couldn't catch it. So I'm not ready for it yet. I may get there eventually, but I mean, it has gotten nothing but great acclaim. I know.
I will say that when I watched it for the first time, I went and saw it by myself, and I left, and I think Becky was asking what I thought about it. I was like, it's not quite a you movie, and I don't really know if I'd ever watch it again. And then I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I read some things on it, and it got way better for me on the second watch. Once it's kind of like the Lebowski principle that we've mentioned before, like a Coen
Right.
Brothers or Tarantino-esque kind of vibe, where once you know where everything is going, then you can start paying attention to other things in the background that kind of lessen the distraction of their directing style. And the directing style, not to turn this into John and Shane talk about film while Michael just eagerly waits in the background.
I'm still here.
But their directing style where it's like, yeah, just make it feel hectic and chaotic and just have Adam Sandler talk over everyone, just have loud noises and have traffic be as loud as dialogue, and like really distracting things. It's the one movie where no matter what someone says, I'm not going to judge them. Like I'm never going to be like, oh, you have to see it, you have to see it. It's, oh, you tried, you didn't like it, okay, that's fine. Like if you ever do end up finishing it, or if you end up enjoying it in the future, let me know. But
well, and also the fact that they cast someone who is, heavily noted as being involved in the BDSM community to be one of the co-leads, and then that is one of the primary sort of bits for publication in what they're taking and touting the movie. You're kind of like,
yeah,
I can appreciate what you're doing here, and she's a very vivacious individual. She is easy on the
indeed.
eyes. And The Weeknd having a cameo is also very interesting. There's a lot of very compelling things about it. I think I just need to sit down and give it an actual dedicated view where I'm not being judged for what's depicted on screen.
For sure. I just had an idea, because this episode will come out right before we launch into Spooktober. We've actually curated an experience of episodes coming out on the actual podcast. I don't know if we're doing anything on the video component. I don't think that's actually as important, but we'll play that. We'll play it live, to quote Michael from this week. However, something I've always appreciated about you, Shane, is that you love horror movies. It's not a secret. It's very much a facet of who you are as a human.
Yes.
And you do something very unique every year. You curate for yourself just a stack of movies to watch. So do you want, let's go around real quick and just recommend a horror movie to kick off your October season. And Michael, even if you've watched minimal, you can do a show too if you want, just to make it
no. I have one that I can recommend.
But if you want, just to make it easy, I can start, and then we can just pass it around. I just rewatched The Conjuring for the first time in a good long while, and that movie is still super effective with the scares and making you kind of shiver a little bit. So go watch The Conjuring. That's my pick of the month.
Well, you went for a layup there, my friend.
I guess.
So
I didn't go esoteric at all. Yeah.
No, you did not. John's protocol here is getting us on top of my own little tangent. So my October experience is I run through the full month of horror, and I will screen, by and large, hopefully, at least a horror film per day. And I have enough in my collection to actually manage this. And so it's something that I really indulge. One of my absolute favorites, and probably easily in the top 5, if not my absolute favorite, I am a fiend for Hellraiser. I really enjoy the book. Of course, Clive Barker's fantastic, The Hellbound Heart, which is a wonderful little sort of short novel. And of course, then the initial film he directed, which it was the progenitor of a lot of very interesting movements in bondage and sadomasochism, oddly enough, as people began to, hang themselves from hooks after that film rose to prominence, which is entertaining. But so, yeah, let's go with Hellraiser for the first run. Granted, I'll do a layup as well. That's a fairly easy one.
So I'll do something that's a little bit more esoteric. But
My Little Pony.
Yes.
That's not scary. That's just wholesome and family friendly. Okay. No, it's actually one that I watched last year. It is based off a book of the same name, written by Stephen King and Joe Hill. I think it was a collaborative project. It is Into the Tall Grass.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It is actually a pretty good watch.
Okay. If it's, I have not completed the film. It's probably shorter than a feature length, but
no, it's on Netflix. I think it is essentially a feature length. Yes.
Okay. The story is ridiculously graphic.
I bet it is. I don't think it was super graphic with the movie,
Okay.
given that, whatever.
The
but
conceit, yeah.
yes, it was still a pretty good watch. We watched it, I think, at some point last year before I moved to my current location, but it was something that we weren't expecting to really be drawn in. There weren't any real jump scares, but there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of like things that you'd expect to be spooked at, but it was good all around.
Speaking of your Hitchcock level film of what you don't see is the thing that's the most unnerving. The concept or the conceit for those who are not initiated is essentially the book version I can speak to is it's a brother and sister who pull off to the side of the road. The sister happens to be pregnant at the time,
Yeah.
and they see a boy who is trapped in some tall grass, and they go into the grass to try to help him.
Yep.
And they're hearing him calling out, and then they get lost in the grass themselves and they get disoriented, and all of this stuff sort of just runs from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it starts. Yeah, it's a
All
good
right.
watch. I would recommend you guys watching it. I decided to not do a layup just because when you said scary movie, that was the first one that popped to mind.
That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd recommend
So-
it to anyone that likes Stephen King and or Hill.
Nice.
Joe Hill.
So I would say even for the rest of October, I would say on these After Darks, we should continue with some horror movie or novels, but I think movies the easier medium to kind of pitch to people.
Well,
so to report back next week, I will do my best to remember, Michael, and feel free to remind me to watch Into the Tall Grass. I'd love to.
if we want to run on something that is esoteric, I'm thinking of one that I was just talking about earlier this week when we were getting into A24 pictures. This is borderline. It's a sci-fi movie and somewhat horrific in and of itself, but it is a movie starring Scarlett Johansson, and it is called Under the Skin. And if you want to have a very disturbing ride with a character that you are not entirely empathetic with, particularly from the masculine viewpoint watching that movie, and I know John probably knows what I'm referring to. It's a heck of a ride, really visually arresting film, and also very compelling storyline. And by the time you get to the end, you are good and ready for the twist that is there. So go investigate that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that the first time that I saw it, but I think it's worth a rewatch. I'll jot that down too. But yeah, cool. Thank you for indulging me there. That was spur of the moment, but I always value. That's the fun part about any community of genre, but especially in the horror genre, it lives off recommendation and word of mouth. So in that same token, if you guys haven't done your Shudder streamable, the streaming service Shudder, if you haven't done your trial, I think October would be a great time to do it. They just hit 1 million. They just hit 1 million subs. So,
nice.
They're going to stick around for a while.
Good.
And I think this week I'll probably end up watching, they just added the Korean, I think it's either Korean or Japanese, the original The Ring 2.
Oh,
and
okay.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. That's The Grudge.
That's The Grudge, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
It's Ringu.
Yes.
So I think I'll watch that, Into the Tall Grass, and then Under the Skin. That'll probably just be a wild card, but I can definitely make that into the mix. But awesome, yeah. And maybe I'll invite Shaquille O'Neal over and Gorilla Godot, and maybe we can just,
She was the one that was actually smoking all the weed while Shaq was just, showering. So.
Well, and of course, if you do, you've got to have some Christmas cookies to, quench yourself with. So
you got the munchies, what better way?
She's trying to do a trade deal. She's trying to negotiate getting into the NBA as well as the NFL.
Ooh,
they will take a little less kindly to her removing limbs in the National Basketball Association. I will say she's going to be hell on the glass.
She goes up to block and she just caves someone's skull in.
That would definitely be a technical foul. I don't know about you guys, but
that would be a flagrant foul. Anything above the neck, it gets into the flagrant.
I said the man has a family. Stop the damn match. That's
Indeed, yes. Yeah, the way we're depicting Galrilla Godot, she's one of the apes from the Congo book or film, depending upon what you want to. It's the legend of the killer ape, which is true, in fact.
Oh boy!
Shout out to anybody who unfortunately watches this. But if you want to, out of the kindness of your heart, if you're an artist and you want to do a mock-up of Galrilla Godot,
Oh, please.
I'm sure that I can't really
Oh.
speak for Shane and Michael, but I can say that I would chip into a fund to compensate you for your art
certainly.
commission.
Can we do something kind of in the vein of the pugilistic panda that we had hanging in the old bathroom there from Michael's? We'll have Galrilla, resplendent in a helmet with the, dangling leg or arm for the necklace.
The arm
I think
necklace,
it would be nice.
Oh, yeah, I'd pay for that.
Commissioned. Get on it, folks.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that is going to conclude this week's wonderful and emotionally stirring edition of Disinformed After Dark. Thank you all for being here. Please check out the link tree below if you're digging what you're hearing here. If you like what we do, please rate and review. And we look forward to seeing you back here every single week at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And so, for us at the glorious Disinformed After Dark podcast, I am Kenton Eldorado.
I am Timothy Lone Cactus.
And I am Robert Greer. And oh, look what time it is. Oh,
Peter
sorry.
Greer.
I need that. Need this.
Greer.
It's copulation time.
You don't get to
All
say
right,
that.
go smoke
I was
another
helping
doobie
lead
there.
into it, okay? I'm sorry.
You didn't help lead into anything. You ruined my pitch. Oh, you
I'm sorry to disappoint,
silvering
Mom.
Think about what you've
slack-jawed
done.
Dipspick.
If I did, I would always not. I would just be constantly thinking.
I said spit. Thank you.
Huh? I was talking to John. Whoa.
All right. It is, in fact, now copulation time.